Alright guys, we are back with round 2. This is game 1. We're playing Yummy versus Yummy. I'm playing against my friend Matt here. We've played a bunch of times. The hand is a lot better than before. We start off with Engage, and we add Hornet Drones. Hornet Drones makes a token, and then we link the token off into Kagari, and then we go Kagari effect, targeting Hornet Drones, adds that back to hand. And then we go Hornet Drones, make another token, and then we link these two off, synchro, into Cupsy. At this point, we go Cupsy effect. Cupsy Yummy way lets us add two Cupsy Yummy monsters to hand, and then we discard one. We're met with an Imperm, which is pretty good. We can't tag out there because we don't have any Yummy monsters in the graveyard. So we go ahead and link, go into our Yummy Snatchy, met by a second Imperm. Fortunately here we have a Lollipopo in hand to keep the game alive here, and so we go ahead and special him out, set 3, and then we pass it on over. We get a couple cuts here, and then he starts off with Obedience Schooled, which is really great. Right here, I think we have to respond. We activate Snatchy's effect, pay 100 life points to synchro, and then we go into Cookie here. So we're going to try to keep him off of a couple materials, namely the Cupsy, so that way he's not able to just add it or summon it back from the Mignon in a sec. So we target the Cupsy and the Lollipopo, flip it over, and he activates a Croaky. Matt is learning the deck here, so we're gonna kind of have a couple times when we're gonna pause and kind of talk about the deck a little bit. So he links off the Cookie, goes into Snatchy here, Snatchy, and then he specials the Cupsy, which is a pretty good name to have in hand. We're gonna drop a Purge on that, keep him from adding, and since it was set, we're not locked out of our attributes here. That was a fortunate play there. Even if he would have tag or quick effects synchroed here, it would still be negated because it's not Imperm. He goes for a second Snatchy, which I don't necessarily think was the right move. I think you go for Cupsy here, but from here we tag out because I think he goes effect of Snatchy to place, and then I hit him with an Imperm, Chain Link 3, just so we keep him off of the Mignon to keep off the Mignon so we can not die this turn. We opt just to bring back the Cupsy instead of bring back two names, just because we want to have the two to come back from, but also to recycle the synchro here. He special summons the Cookie, which is crazy that he's got Obedience Schooled and two names plus the double Imperm as well, and the field spell to start. So he's got 0 cards in hand here, which is pretty good for us. We do have a set Droplet, I believe. Just gonna take those two and go off into a Lollipop here. Try to bring back two names. He's got 2 spots left on his field, which is great. I'm gonna go ahead here and chain my Cupsy just so that way I can start getting my synchros into rotation here. He does the same. He goes to bounce here, and then I just remind him that the first effect you have to summon back 2, 2 names, but the bounce and summon 2 from the graveyard is up to 2. So he's still learning the deck, and so I'm just kind of explaining a couple of things to him as we're playing here. So that is the little conversation that we're having here. He decides not to chain the bounce there. And so he summons back the Snatchy and a Cookie. And I got the Lollipop and the Snatchy, so I'm going to chain the Snatchy to place the field spell here. And then at this point, he's going to tag out into a second Cookie. We're going to place the Akroki. So the Akroki, anytime you quick synchro, or anytime you synchro a light beast monster, you get a targeted pop on the field. He's reading the field spell here to make sure we get our we're going to get our chains right here. So he's going to go Cookie, target the Snatchy to pop. I'm going to chain the Snatchy to pop, or to synchro here. He's going to also chain to synchro. I'm going to synchro out my Cupsy just to get more names into rotation here. At this point, we're figuring out the chains, so he's going to look at possibly trying to book, maybe, and then chainlink 2 to pop my set. And then I'm going to go Akroki, targeting the Akroki to pop, and then I'm going to do Cupsy effect to add 2 and discard 1. So we're going to add a Cupsy, and then we're going to make sure that we're not adding something that we already have. We already have a Lollipop in the graveyard. So we're going to add a Cookie, and then we're going to discard the Cookie just that way we can get an additional pop later on, and then we have the Cupsy in hand for the follow-up turn, just to be an additional starter here, just in case we need it. It's going to give my deck a cut, and then the chain resolves. We add I pop. He does not opt to book, and then his Akroki fizzles because it's left the field. He goes to battle. I should have put that in defense mode when I summoned it, but that was a misplay on my part there. But that is just how it goes sometimes. He doesn't get the attack boost, which is fine. So I end up living another turn here. He's going to go end of main and then pass it on over to me. I believe that he probably could have extended a little bit more. I don't think he ever went into the Cupsy to add stuff to his hand. But we have Cupsy in hand, which is really nice. We hit a called by, and so we're going to go Droplet. We're going to send both the called by and the Akroki, the field spell. And I believe this is all in the draw phase, so he's not going to be able to get the Snatchy effect to tag out, but he is able to get his synchro to bounce back to the extra deck and then summon 2 from the graveyard. And then at this point I'm going to negate the 2 Snatchies, and that's going to keep him off of any plays on my turn. He brings out the Snatchy and the Cupsy, so he's going to be able to get an add off of this. He's going to add the quick play, the Yummy Surprise, and then from here I got the Cup C in my hand, which is why we added it to the hand last turn. So we have a way to play this turn. We go normal Cup C, effect, add the surprise, and then we go Snatchy, effect, place the field spell, and then from here we're gonna go field spell. I'm checking his graveyard, checking my graveyard. We're gonna add the cookie. The reason why I did that, there wasn't really anything worth banishing or shuffling back with a lollipop, but we bring out the cookie, and then we shuffle back a couple cards, and then we go into a link row. We go into Cup C Yummy Way. Adding the field spell back into the graveyard with a couple names is helpful, just to kind of keep names in rotation, so you're able to add. So we add the cookie and the lollipop, and then we send the lollipop. And then from here we go into our Snatchy, special cookie. And then we're going to synchro into Lollipo, try to get some names on the board here. We summon back 2 of the cookies. Cookies are nice because they are the biggest main deck names at 1,000 attack. And so that's fortunate there. Mignon, just so you guys know, it counts up. You get an attack boost based on how many light beasts there are on the field. So that includes the opponent's field as well. So here we're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attack boost. So each of my guys is boosted by 35, and so we're able to pretty much put the game away here just by swinging into the attack mode bodies, and he's just going to pick it up. And that'll be it for Game 1, Round 2. Going into Game 2, we side in some things to go second, and Matt here is going to opt to go first. We got some pretty good hands. We got all 3 names plus a Droll and a Dark Ruler, so that's going to be huge playing into a board here, especially going into Yummy. So you go Snatchy, go ahead and add the quick play here. He's going to be met with a Droll, which will keep him off of any names that he doesn't already have. So if Cup C was his only name, that's going to be a really good Droll hit against him. But he's going to opt to go to Snatchy here, Snatchy effect to place. At this point, I don't really have any other plays in my hand. He's got a cookie in hand, so he's going to special summon that. We go back, let him place the field spell off the Snatchy here. Deck's still pretty new, he's still learning it, so it's not that big a deal. I like to think that we're trying to learn this deck. It's locals, it's pretty chill here. So he then goes into a Moon play, so he's going to go link off into Moon, and then into Requiem effect, tribute summons the Lacrima, go ahead and send the Engraver. The nice thing about this line is, after the Snatchy places the field spell, you're locked into summoning only Link 2s and lower, and the Fiendsmith line here doesn't actually ever go into, you don't really play Agnum Day, I don't think, but he's going to go ahead and equip the Requiem to the Lacrima, contact fuse into Necroquip, summon back the Engraver by shuffling back the Moon, and then he's going to overlay for a Caesar. Caesar pretty much bodies this deck if you don't have a way to out it. He sets it in defense mode. I joke, I ask him, you afraid of that lightning storm? He's like, yeah, which is a good call here. So he go ahead and goes for the Yummy Surprise. Right here, he actually should have kept the Requiem on board and then summoned back from the grave off the Mignon. And then that way you can keep the surprise in hand. But by using the surprise here, he's not going to have it for next turn for follow-up, but he goes ahead and goes thrust to set. And then from here, he's just going to pass, I believe, on a set 1, a D-Barrier, a Caesar, and then he actually goes ahead and goes into a Synchro here. He goes into Lollipop to summon back 2. The effects are negated on that So if he wants to be able to play on my turn, he's going to have to maybe sync off. But he goes ahead and passes it over to me. I'm going to start with Dark Ruler. Dark Ruler is going to be pretty big here. It's going to negate the Caesar. He's not able to respond with a tag out off there. So all I really have to worry about is playing around his sets here. So I go Cupsy, I don't go effect here, just in case he's got an Imperm or something. I have enough names in my hand that I want to set up a board a little bit before I do anything. I go into a Snatchy, no effect here. And then I'm going to go ahead and special Cookie here. At this point, I ask him if he has any response, because I know he has that D-Barrier. He's going to flip D-Barrier, calling Synchro. I am going to chain to that, go Snatchy, pay 100 to Synchro, and then he hits me with a Dimension Barrier, or not Dimension Barrier. He sends the Dimension Barrier off the Droplet, keeping me off my Synchro, which is okay. Did not expect to see that Droplet there. So from here, I haven't used any of the effects to add or place, but I go ahead and summon out the Lollipop from hand. Then I'm going to Linkro. Maybe. Nope, I go for a second Snatchy. It's pointing down, so I can summon a second Snatchy. I go Snatchy effect. I go ahead and place the Mignon, just so I can start swinging in for some damage, or try to clear off some of the board here. The reason why I didn't add it off that first one is I just didn't want to get hit by an Imperm or something. Same thing with that, with the Cupsy as well. And so at this point, I can extend a little bit. He's going to go Lacrima effect, shelf herself back, summon out the Requiem. I say that's alright. I summon out the Cupsy. Cupsy's going to head and add me a quick play. At this point, I have a good chunk of damage coming his way here. He's going to tag out, go Requiem effect Tribute, and then he's going to summon back the Engraver in defense mode. After this round, we talk a little bit, and he's not playing the trap, just because he just hates breaking on it, and I totally feel that as well. So we're just confirming that he dropleted my first Snatchy, asking about how Droplet and the field spell works. So Droplet was first, right? So it's going to half the attack points of that Snatchy, but then after I activate the Mignon, it will get the attack boost on top of the half. So it goes from 600 to 300, and then it gets the boost from all the small names here. So we go Cupsy, swing into the Caesar. We're under Dark Ruler here, so we're not really looking at... he's not going to take any damage here, but I clear off his board. I leave the Snatchy on board, just because he's not going to have anything. I know he doesn't have anything in hand, so he's going to have to top deck something. But I'm going to go into SP, Little Knight here, get a banish the field spell to keep him off of that, and then I pass it on over. I set the surprise, and then he's gonna go special Cookie, no Cookie effect. I'm gonna force it out here by going into by activating surprise. We're gonna go surprise, targeting Cupsy and my Snatchy, and targeting his Snatchy and his Cookie. So right here, he's forced to react. Otherwise, he's going to have to normal summon the Cookie here. He doesn't have the field spell, so he's going to be stuck. So he's going to go 100 to summon to Synchro. I'm going to go chain SP, targeting itself and the Cookie, and then I'm also going to tag out with the Synchro here. We go into Cupsy to add, and then that bounces back the Synchro. Cupsy's going to add us a Cupsy and a Lollipop. I'm going to discard the Lollipop, have Cupsy in hand for follow-up. He's going to go Engraver, shuffle back Engraver. He's got the Requiem in the graveyard. So I'm thinking that he's probably going to try to get a Requiem play. So I'm going to tag out, go into the Cookie and the Lollipop to keep him from playing. Cookie is going to pop, Lollipop is going to banish the Requiem, and that is it.